Alright, to follow will be a two-part video. And it's a walk and talk part, a response to Pyro. Yeah, I mean, he's just playing the game here. Now he's done a couple more videos, and he's changing, and he's distorting, and saying, well, in physics, we have a different definition of the word probability, and randomness, and all this other crap. And the context here is they made a response video to a video clearly about free will and determinism in terms of human behavior and human psychology, and his argument was basically that he was somehow going to refute that reality. He hasn't refuted that reality in any context whatsoever, and yeah, now he's just redefining words, and it is crap. He's claiming that what he says is apparent, in the two-slit experiment. The results show an apparent circumstance. His conclusion is that, yes, I'm going to go with what things seem like, until somebody proves it's not as it seems. Well, first off, I'll say that can be done, but secondly, I'm going to say that that's the same thing as the retarded religious assholes. Okay, yeah, I mean, okay, you're gonna force me to explain in detail something that we can see all around us. In every other circumstance, there's lots of times where our crude senses are fooled because we don't see the detail. So that's really easy, a really simple argument to make. And you're being so, like, again, you're the one claiming the proof. You're claiming you have the authority to say other belief systems are invalid. And that's what you said, Pyro. So it's just crap. I'm just going to go over this probability thing. You say study. I did study probability, by the way. I actually took a dedicated course in high school, which is pretty cool. Probability and statistics. But anyway, probability is just about, you can't, duplicating circumstance. If you could duplicate a circumstance identically, you will have an identical result. Okay, so if I make a lottery and I just put all the balls in one little, in a row, and all I do is tip them over and wait for one to fall off the end of the table, well, my probability results might end up where the number 1 comes out every 3 times. Okay, I mean, because I haven't created enough deviation. I have to create deviations in circumstances to create a probability where each ball will have its equal chance of arising. So I have to create chaos. I have to create a whole bunch of noise in the system, a bunch of deviation. So even though the balls might start off the same way, there's so much deviation in circumstance by the time they get to the point of falling off the end of the table that there's no longer any tie to that initial starting position, because there's so much noise created since then. That's all probability is about, is defining those kinds of circumstances through permutations. Alright, and you're talking about some individual event, and you're saying the individual event that you're saying the photon is going through both slits. That's your claim. Alright, you're saying that it is randomly choosing which way it'll end up going, that it isn't decided by some pre-circumstance, that it at some time in its lifetime, like I said, as endpoint time, you're saying it goes back in time and decides where it came from, or something like that. That's the implication of your crap, and it's just that crap. There's nothing about the fact that there are probabilities to events has nothing to do with the fact that they are strictly determined. Just like flipping a coin, there is no quantum effect that creates the deviation. We know how the deviations are created, because we don't place the coin the same way on our finger, that we can't flip with the same intensity each time. But there is a fact that if you take some individuals and give them a coin to flip, their probability numbers will come up different, because they do have a prejudice, because they do flip similarly. So if they start off with a head each time, they might end up with, in the end results, it might end up to have a probability where more heads end up showing up than tails. So, I mean, this is just bullshit. So anyway, and like I said, the context is you made this bullshit argument as a response video to a video that was just making it clear that we are determined. Okay, our human existence doesn't have any variability in it whatsoever. There's no magic dust. There's only crude, solid electricity, mechanical forces, And this is just a bullshit. This is just bullshit for you to sit there and inject this mush, this noise into this conversation. You're not you're not enlightening or educating. You're just creating obnoxious and idiotic noise. Alright, response video to the scumbag Pyro. I'm gonna call him that. He's just playing such a fucking cheater's game here. He's obliging me now to defend Newton and caveman. The caveman used to bang on a rock and say, rock! And now I have to defend caveman science. This is just so idiotic. Why don't you just instead of keep resorting to your Newtonian crap and your earth, fire, and water shit, why don't you just stay with Einstein, okay? Alright, so talk about how Einstein is archaic and stupid and a fool. Alright, so do as 2B Serious does when she does her little phantasmagorical evolution theories. And talk about how Darwin is old and archaic science. That Darwin was somehow full of shit. Go ahead and do that, Pyro, because you're doing exactly the same thing. You're taking an observable circumstance and drawing preposterous conclusions based on it. Just like she thinks animals are somehow, through natural selection and design, loving each other and getting into relations with each other for altruistic reasons because they know it's good for everybody. You know, bullshit. And she thinks we can, well, she didn't, I don't know if she still thinks so, but she tried to make the argument that we can influence our genetic code in some positive way. Like if we were positive thinking, we can make our sperm better and our children will be positive thinkers. And the true science was that, yes, if you have a shitty diet, you're likely to have broken sperm or a broken egg, and your child will pay a price for it and be a loser. Yeah, wow, big shocker there. That turns out to be the truth. And the same, I predict, will be found regarding your phantasmagorical speculation that you have called the established science that no one's allowed to waver from without enduring your pathetic insults that they are in the Stone Age and have no fucking brain and don't know what modern is. Fuck you. 30 years ago, people were still talking like frisbees were magic. Because, they're breaking the rules. A frisbee can't fly. They were talking about bumblebees. Oh, bumblebees. They're possessed by the devil because they're breaking the rules. No, they weren't breaking the rules. It's just that the rules are complex, and the subtleties and the nuances are all over the place. And it's just bullshit for you to draw these conclusions, say that everybody's written them in fucking cement, and we're not allowed to waver from your fucking bullshit. We have to accept your premises or conversation's over. Well, fuck you. Okay, I'm going to call you what you are, an elitist, ivory tower, full of shit prick. Okay, you're worse than Professor Anton. You're more of a disgrace to knowledge and intelligent conversation than he is. You fucker. You sit there and complain about his wearing it on his sleeve, his class of, I'll go read 568,000 dead philosopher books and declare myself an expert on something. What you're doing, what the fuck are you doing here? You're just talking out of your fucking ass and sitting there saying, well, we all believe it, so you have to. Fuck you. Yeah, really hard. It's just crap. I mean, you've broken the word probability. You break all these words. You're just like Professor Anton. Words don't mean anything anymore. A gift can be bubonic plague. I mean, if it has the right ribbon on it, you can give somebody bubonic plague, and it'll be classified as a gift, and you can get a tax write-off. And you're playing this game with probability. We know that probability is statistical. So it has to do with, okay, we can't know the exact circumstances, so we can't exactly state what took place or what will take place, but we do know these are the variables. And we don't even know all the variables. We know all the outcomes. Okay? And it's that simple.
And so you just establish what is basically just an acceptance that for each circumstance you don't know the particulars. But you're not saying that in each individual circumstance the photon is everywhere, or that it's going everywhere, or that it's been everywhere. No, that's not what probability says. And that's what you're saying. That's the conclusion you're imposing on this. Oh, God damn it. Ew, lots of water. I have to get my feet wet. Yeah, raining and such. And also noisy. Gee, but it's just so disappointing. I mean, we've argued through this subject. There should be a little bit of control. You exercise a little bit of control over this idea that you're going to keep arguing with people and keep calling them